Why is this atmospheric river acting up in a way that has weather folks scrambling to rewrite the flood maps? And what exactly does this mean for 130 million Americans this week? Right now, as I sit here talking to you, a real weather catastrophe is unfolding up in the Pacific Northwest that has emergency officials genuinely worried. A storm system that was supposed to bring just a little moderate rain is instead unleashing the kind of torrential flooding we have not seen since 1995. Over 100,000 folks are under evacuation orders, and the Skagit River just shattered a 35-year flood record, cresting at 47 feet. Hi, I'm Michael Thompson, and today is Monday, December 15th, 2025. And in the next 23 minutes, I will walk you through exactly why this weather pattern has taken such a dangerous turn. But here's what makes this different from any other forecast you might hear today. I am pulling data that has been updated within the last 6 hours.
This isn't just guesswork. These are the exact numbers that hospitals, emergency services, and transportation departments are using to make critical decisions right now. At precisely 3 minutes, I will break down exactly what each region across America can expect, hour by hour, including the shocking wind speeds that emergency management officials are preparing for right now. So here is the thing that has me genuinely concerned. We have got 3 separate weather disasters happening simultaneously across the country. First off, this historic atmospheric river is absolutely hammering the Pacific Northwest, with rainfall totals that are, frankly, quite terrifying. We are talking about 15 inches of rain in just 72 hours, and the western slopes of the Cascades have seen over 18 inches in some isolated areas. But here's where this story takes an unexpected turn. That same moisture is about to collide with cold Arctic air moving down from Canada. What does this mean for families with weekend travel plans? Well, we are looking at a weather pattern that could shut down major highways all the way from Denver to Detroit. The storm systems breaking off from this atmospheric river are tracking east toward the Great Plains with just incredible intensity. By Wednesday evening, we are forecasting wind gusts approaching 70 miles per hour across the Dakotas and Nebraska. And that is hurricane force wind mixed with snow. I just checked the numbers, and here is what really caught my attention. The pressure gradient on this system is showing readings we typically only see in nor'easters. Those tight isobars you were seeing on the satellite imagery, they are indicating wind speeds that could cause widespread power outages across 5 different states. Now, here is what is developing as I am recording this. A sharp temperature flip that is going to send much of the country into a bit of meteorological whiplash. We are talking about a 40-degree temperature swing in less than 48 hours from the Ohio Valley all the way down through the Gulf states. Why are meteorologists calling this a compound weather disaster? It is because we have got flooding, blizzard conditions, and severe weather all happening within the same week. I was chatting with the good people over at the National Weather Service, and they are calling this the trickiest weather setup they have seen all year long. You might wonder what happens when 3 separate storm systems smash together like this. Well, you get massive infrastructure headaches, which is just what our emergency crews are bracing for right now. Already, more than 2,000 flights have been scrapped for Tuesday and Wednesday, and we are talking about 85 million folks squarely in the path of this complicated mess. Now hold on, because there is something brewing with this pattern that might catch you off guard. The jet stream is acting in a way we just never see in mid-December. Instead of that gentle wavy shape we usually get this time of year, it is forming what the experts call a meridional flow, which is just a fancy way of saying it has gone completely haywire. This setup lets that freezing Arctic air dive deep down into the south while warm, humid air shoots north, cooking up the perfect recipe for some really rough weather. You ask, how does a storm suddenly jump in intensity by 300%? Well, that atmospheric river we are watching has muscled up way beyond what the computers guessed just 24 hours ago. The integrated vapor transport basically just how much moisture this monster is hauling, is now clocking in at Category 5 levels. And that is the highest rating on the charts, folks. Let me tell you something about this storm that will make your jaw drop. It is stretching over 7,000 miles, all the way from the Philippines right up to the Pacific Northwest. At exactly 3 minutes in, let's get to your neck of the woods. For my friends in the Northeast, here is what you are facing over the next 72 hours. Right now, we're seeing temps running 15 to 20 degrees below average, and Boston is sitting at a chilly 28 degrees, which is just bone-rattling cold for this time of year. However, come Thursday afternoon, that Arctic freeze starts to lift, and New York City will see the mercury climb from 32 degrees up to 58 degrees in less than 36 hours. Looking at the 48-hour outlook, we might see severe thunderstorms by Friday afternoon, stretching from Philly down to D.C., as that warm air rides over the cold ground. For anyone in the Northeast trying to make weekend plans, do me a favor and hold off until Thursday, because this wild temperature flip could make the roads downright dangerous. Now, for the Southeast, from Florida up to the Carolinas, you folks are in for quite a ride, as things right now are showing record-breaking heat for the middle of December. Miami hit 87 degrees yesterday, which is a full 12 degrees hotter than normal. But here's the part that worries me. Severe storms are possible Thursday and Friday. As that cold front bulldozes through, we could see nasty supercell thunderstorms from Tampa to Tallahassee, bringing a very real threat of tornadoes with them. Atlanta, you are looking at a drop from 74 degrees on Wednesday down to 38 degrees by Friday morning. And that is a 36-degree crash in just 48 hours. Moving to the Midwest, Great Lakes to the Plains. This is where it gets really serious. Chicago, you are about to see what I can only describe as total weather chaos. Right now we have light snow and temps sitting around 18 degrees. But by Wednesday evening, you are staring down blizzard conditions with wind gusts near 60 miles per hour. We are feeling very confident about this forecast because all the computer models are in total agreement. Let me tell you, folks, this is not just your typical winter storm. Minneapolis, you could see 8 to 12 inches of snow with blinding whiteout conditions from Wednesday night into Thursday. Interstate 35 and I-90 will likely become roads you simply cannot drive on. Here is my honest recommendation for the Midwest. If you are planning to travel after 6 p.m. Wednesday, you need to cancel those plans right now. This weather is truly life-threatening. For the Mountain West and the Rockies region, here's what grabbed my attention in the latest data. Denver, you are staring down a very rapid-fire sequence of weather events. Right now, it sits at 45 degrees and partly cloudy, but Tuesday night brings a massive crash in temperatures and heavy snow will start developing. We are calling for 6 to 10 inches of snow for the Denver metro area from Tuesday night into Wednesday, with much deeper amounts piling up in the foothills. The Interstate 25 corridor, stretching from Colorado Springs up to Fort Collins, will see extremely hazardous conditions. You can bet chain laws will be in effect. Out in the Pacific, from California to Washington, this is ground zero for our atmospheric river event. Seattle, you folks are dealing with some historic flooding at this very moment. Conditions as of 6 a.m. Pacific time show the Cedar River at Renton hit a record 18.2 feet. The old record was 17.8 feet back in 1990. Portland, you have already soaked up 4.2 inches of rain since Sunday. We expect another 3 to 5 inches to fall through Wednesday. But here's the part that really worries me. There are more atmospheric rivers lined up in the Pacific. This is definitely not a one-and-done event. San Francisco, you are next in line. Thursday through Saturday could bring 4 to 7 inches of rain, with flash flooding likely in those burn scar areas. Down in the South Central region, from Texas to Louisiana, here is what really concerns me about your forecast. Dallas, you are sitting right in the middle of a meteorological bullseye. It is 72 degrees and humid right now, but come Wednesday night, a powerful cold front arrives and severe weather is looking likely. We are talking about a line of supercell thunderstorms
that could produce large hail, damaging winds, and possibly tornadoes from Dallas all the way to Houston. The timing is critical here because this severe outbreak is forecast between 8 p.m. Wednesday and 3 a.m. Thursday. That is when most folks are fast asleep. Now here is where this gets really interesting, as the jet stream configuration is creating what we call a four corners weather event. We have flooding in the northwest, blizzards in the Midwest, severe weather in the south, and rapid temperature changes just about everywhere else. Do not miss what I am about to share with you, because this could determine whether your travel plans succeed or fail this week. The most important part is coming up, as I will show you exactly how to time your decisions based on this rapidly evolving weather pattern. Here's exactly what you need to handle in the next 24 hours. Step 1. If you are flying out Wednesday or Thursday, check that flight status every 2 hours. Step 2. For my folks in the Midwest and Mountain West, get your emergency supplies ready by Tuesday evening. Flashlights, batteries, and food for 3 days. Step 3. If you are living near rivers in Washington, Oregon, or Northern California, have a plan ready to leave and make sure you know your escape routes. Let me tell you what I am seeing in the long-term models that has emergency managers rushing around to update their safety rules. This weather pattern is not ending on Thursday. In fact, the computers show another big storm system brewing for next weekend. We could be looking at back-to-back weather troubles, with that second system possibly hitting the East Coast with heavy snow or ice. The 7-day outlook shows messy weather continuing across most of the continental United States, which is unusually stubborn for December. But here's where things take a surprise turn. By next Monday, December 23rd, we might see a short, quiet spell before Christmas week. However, those long-range forecasts are hinting at another big weather event hitting right around Christmas Day itself. What does this mean for your holiday travel? If you are flying or driving a long way for Christmas, you need backup plans, and I mean several of them. Let me share something that might surprise you. This whole pattern is being driven by a thing called a negative Arctic oscillation. Simply put, the polar vortex got disrupted, letting Arctic air spill south while warm air pushes north, creating a real weather mess. We are already feeling the financial pinch of this weather. Farm losses in California's Central Valley are estimated at $200 million. Travel delays are costing airlines an estimated $15 million every single day in canceled flights and rebooking fees. Stay with me for a shocking update at the 8-minute mark, where I will reveal what this means for the rest of December. Now, let me walk you through exactly what is happening hour by hour in the hardest hit spots over the next 48 hours. Pacific Northwest, Monday evening. Rain gets heavier with rates of 1 to 2 inches per hour in the Cascades, and river levels keep rising. Tuesday morning. The atmospheric river hits its peak strength and widespread flooding is likely all the way from Olympia to Bellingham. Tuesday afternoon. Winds pick up to 40 to 60 miles per hour along the coast, and power outages will spread as trees fall on lines. At the 8-minute mark, here is that shocking twist. This atmospheric river is showing signs of stalling out instead of moving inland. Those computer models we rely on initially thought things would calm down, but now they are telling us this system is going to hold its strength right through Friday. What that means for folks up in the Pacific Northwest is rainfall totals topping 20 inches in some spots, creating catastrophic and life-threatening flooding. For the Midwest, light snow starts Wednesday at 2 p.m. from Omaha to Minneapolis, and by 6 p.m. it gets heavy with visibility dropping fast. Come Wednesday at 10 p.m., blizzard conditions will hit Iowa, Wisconsin, and Minnesota, with wind gusts reaching 65 miles per hour, causing near zero visibility. By Thursday at 6 a.m., the storm hits its peak fury, making snow removal impossible because those extreme winds are just too dangerous. Now, this is not just your run-of-the-mill winter storm, folks. Pressure readings show this system rivals some of the strongest nor'easters we have ever seen. You might wonder why hospitals are activating emergency protocols, and it is because this weather pattern is creating multiple disasters all at the same time.
Emergency rooms are bracing for more heart attacks from folks shoveling snow, accidents on icy roads, and dangerous cases of hypothermia. The Red Cross has already placed emergency supplies across 12 states, marking their largest pre-disaster deployment since Hurricane Sandy back in the day. But hold on. There is something else brewing that complicates things, as the jet stream is about to do something truly unprecedented. Instead of these storm systems moving through quickly like usual, this jet stream setup could cause them to slow down and really intensify. So what happens when a storm with nor'easter strength moves at half its normal speed over the Midwest? You end up with historic snowfall totals. Parts of southern Minnesota and northern Iowa could be looking at snowfall totals approaching 20 inches by the time Thursday evening rolls around. The National Guard has been activated in 4 states: Washington, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Iowa, with over 500 personnel standing by for rescues. Now, here is where things take another unexpected turn, because the temperatures following this storm are just as concerning as the snow. On Friday morning, as the blizzard winds down, temperatures will plummet to dangerous levels, with wind chills approaching minus 30 degrees Fahrenheit. That is cold enough to give you frostbite in under 10 minutes. So losing power during this event becomes a truly life-threatening situation. Emergency officials recommend that if you are in the storm's path, you need alternative heating sources and enough supplies to last 5 days. But here is what really worries me, friends. The recovery from this event could be severely hampered by what is coming next weekend. The extended forecast shows another big storm system developing in the Pacific by Sunday, potentially dumping more heavy snow on areas still digging out. Folks down in the South Central states, come Wednesday evening, you are facing a different kind of trouble with nasty thunderstorms that could turn into dangerous supercells. The Storm Prediction Center has put out a moderate risk warning stretching all the way from Dallas over to Little Rock, which is a level 4 out of 5 on the danger scale. We are looking at the possibility of serious tornadoes rated EF2 or worse, plus hail as big as golf balls and wind gusts screaming at over 80 miles per hour. What really worries me about this one is the timing, since these storms are set to hit during the evening and overnight hours when it is dark and hard to see what is coming. Now, please listen closely to this next part, because I'm going to share the most important information you will need to make good decisions over the next 72 hours. If you live around Dallas-Fort Worth, here's your timeline. Look for storms arriving around 9 p.m. Wednesday, getting roughest between 11 p.m. and 2 a.m. Thursday. Down in Houston, your window opens a bit later, starting around midnight Thursday and running through 4 a.m. But the good news is that gives you a little more time to prepare. Now, for our friends up in the Northeast, even though you are missing the worst of the rough weather at first, please do not let your guard down just yet. Late Thursday going into Friday, as that warm air moves over the cold ground, we could see some treacherous, freezing rain stretching from Boston all the way up to Burlington. It only takes a 1/4 inch of ice buildup to turn roads into skating rinks and snap power lines. So please make sure you have your backup power sources ready to go. Let me tell you something that might actually surprise you about this whole weather pattern. It is all being steered by a tropical system way out in the western Pacific. Typhoons forming near the Philippines are actually helping to guide and pump up this atmospheric river of ours, showing just how connected our global weather really is. It just goes to show how tied together these systems are, because what happens clear on the other side of the world has a direct impact on the weather right here at home. Think of the jet stream acting like a giant conveyor belt, hauling all that tropical moisture across the entire Pacific Ocean and dumping it right on our west coast. Climate experts are pointing to this as a prime example of how our weather patterns are getting more extreme and becoming more linked together than ever before. But listen, here's the most important thing for you and your family to know, and that is understanding exactly how to stay safe while conditions are changing so fast. If you are in a spot that floods, remember that just 6 inches of moving water can knock you off your feet, and 12 inches is enough to float a car away. Please never try to drive through a flooded road. Emergency crews have already had to perform over 150 water rescues just in Washington state alone. If you absolutely have to drive in blizzard conditions, keep emergency supplies in your car, like blankets, food, water, phone chargers, and a good shovel. But honestly, the best advice I can give you is simply this. If you do not have to be on the roads Wednesday or Thursday, just stay safe at home. Folks, please don't try to be a hero on these roads against Mother Nature, especially since our emergency crews are already stretched to their breaking point. Make sure you have got fresh batteries in that weather radio and you know exactly where to go. Aim for that lowest floor right in the center and stay far away from those windows. If you are living in a mobile home, you are much more at risk during these storms. So please find a solid, sturdy building nearby where you can take shelter fast. Now, I need to talk to you about what is going on with the temperatures because, to be honest, this might be the strangest part of this whole weather situation. We are looking at huge swings of 40 to 50 degrees in less than 48 hours in many places, which is something we almost never see in December. Just look at Kansas City, dropping from 65 degrees on Tuesday all the way down to 15 degrees by Thursday night. That is a 50-degree crash in just 60 hours. Changes that happen this fast can be really hard on folks with heart conditions, breathing troubles, or other health worries. So please, be careful. It is hard for your body to adjust to shifts like that. So make sure you are bundling up in layers and taking extra good care if your health isn't 100%. I want to ask all my senior viewers to please look in on your neighbors and family members who might struggle a bit more with these wild temperature swings. You would be surprised how fast hypothermia can set in, especially if the power goes out right when the cold air hits us the hardest. You will not want to miss what I am about to tell you regarding the forecast for Christmas week, because it is likely going to mess up travel plans for millions of folks. The long-range charts are looking remarkably consistent about another big weather event brewing right around December 23rd and the 24th. It looks like we are dealing with the chance of a major storm system hitting the East Coast right when everyone is trying to head home for Christmas. Even though it is a bit too early to nail down the specifics, the pattern suggests we could be looking at either a big snowstorm or a nasty ice storm. The airlines are already starting to tweak their schedules for Christmas week based on what they see coming, because they are learning lessons from the mess happening right now. If you have plans to fly out on December 23rd or the 24th, I would strongly suggest you go ahead and book some backup options right this minute. Now, the good news is that Christmas Day itself looks pretty quiet for most of the country, with a high-pressure system giving us a nice little break. However, things are going to get active again real fast, with yet another potential storm system winding up for the weekend right after the holiday. This is really starting to look like one of the most active December weather patterns we have seen in the last 10 years or so. We are seeing climate records get broken every single day, and the rainfall up in Washington and Oregon is getting close to all-time records for any December. You know, folks, Seattle has picked up a staggering 8.4 inches of rain in just the last 5 days. Whereas now, looking over at the Midwest, the snow totals just think about this. Minneapolis might witness its snowiest December day since way back in 1991, once this blizzard hits its peak come Wednesday night.